Now, let's talk about the origins of minimalism. Through much of the 1950s, the dominant art movement in the United States is abstract expressionism, which, of course, we've covered. And a very popular branch of this will be gestural abstraction or action paintings. But by the time we get to the 1960s, what we're going to see is a new movement emerging, known as minimal art. The minimalists felt that action painting and abstract expressionism as a whole was too personal, too pretentious, and too insubstantial. They reject the idea that art should reflect the personal expression of its creator. Instead, they adopt the point of view that a work of art should not refer to anything other than itself. So, we are not going to see a religious minimalist piece referring to the crucifixion of Jesus. If we were to see a religious piece, it would be in the form of a cross referring only to itself. They're never looking at outside ideas. By stripping this away, they're hoping to create something universal. After all, people from a different culture may not understand certain religious symbolism. So, they're going to strip everything down to a universal, basic, what they will see as a truth. They reject the idea that, their goal was to make their works totally objective, unexpressive, and non-referential. One of the first painters to be specifically linked with minimalism was the former abstract expressionist Frank Stella. And he is instantly acclaimed as a minimalist artist due to his black paintings, in which regular bands of black paint were separated by very thin pinstripes of unpainted canvas, contrasting the emotional canvases of abstract expressionism. After all, abstract expressionism, whether it's true or not, gives the sense that it's sort of thrown together. It's very basic and very easy, but when you look at these black paintings, you can imagine how difficult they really are, pulling those straight lines. The most prominent theorists of the movement are going to be Donald Judd, who wrote the manifesto-like essay Specific Objects, and Robert Morris, who will write a 3-part essay, Notes on Sculpture. We also see this as a historic movement for the historic moment for the art movement. Would be the group exhibit Primary Structures, held in 1966 at the Jewish Museum in New York, which we see an image from here. So this is a fairly quick movement. This is a movement that stems out of abstract expressionism, and much like pop art is looking back at abstract expressionism and going, wow, that is way too intellectual and too pretentious. You're actually trying to push people away instead of attracting people into your art. So they're going to try and create these very concrete images, something that we saw from pop art, but instead of looking at low art for their imagery, they're going to create their own imagery through simple, frequently geometric forms.